Members, we're about to open with the opening ceremonies of Westercon 74, so grab a seat and hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Wild Wild Westercon. I'm your chair, Kevin Stanley. I am very grateful to see all of you here who have made the trip, and I hope you're having a good time during what we call the cold open portion of this 4-act drama. And I hope you enjoyed our opening titles. And now we're moving into the actual event itself. Westercon is structured, in this case, sort of like a 4-act drama. And the difference between it and a television show is the fact that the cast members are everybody. Every one of you is a member of the cast of this show. Now, we do have some stars, and initially we weren't going to because, as I hope you know, we were trying to run things relatively inexpensively. We are grateful to the parent organization of Westercon 72, which issued us a grant that allowed us to have 2 guests of honor. And that means we have, yes, and thank you very much to the Utah Fandom Organization, which is, as I understand it, no longer in existence because that's why we got the grant, was part of their wind down.
Oh my God.
And it's allowed us to here at this Nevada Westercon to honor 2 Nevadans for their contributions to the field. And so I'd like to introduce our first guest, who is an author who, when we got our grant and I began asking around for who we might invite, this person came highly recommended, and no one had the slightest bad thing to say. And with that build up, I'd like to introduce Kevin Andrew Murphy.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. This is the con with large amounts of Kevins, and there's the third Kevin Roach out there who, honestly, I've known since I was 16. I think he was 20 at the Legion of Rathlong meeting back then. Anyway, I got the call from Kevin, and my reaction was, I think the Sally Field, "You like me, you really, really like me," and of course followed by, yes, I will do it. So I'm honored to be here at Westercon. I think that Westercon was one of my first science fiction cons when I was 19, going down to San Diego, and very happy to be here, and I think I should probably let us get on to our next guest.
Now, although at Westercon, like many genre conventions, we embrace science fiction and fantasy in all its forms, including movies, television, video, and such, and music. The roots of our field are in the written word. I think we could safely say that. And that includes magazines and books, as how many of us got our first exposure. But how do you get those written words? We are very grateful to the booksellers who sell us, who provide us with those books. We were grateful enough here at this convention that we gave for the dealer's room space, we said, well, if you're willing to make the trip and willing to buy a membership, you can have a table while supplies last at no additional charge. Which means we're extra glad to be able to honor, as our second guest of honor, a bookseller from the Las Vegas area who is well known and well recommended as well. And so I'd like to introduce Myrna Donato.
Hi, I'm Myrna, and when Kevin called me and asked me to be guest of honor, I said, why me? And he said, because you've been a book dealer and we would like to have you. And I said, but I'm no longer a physical book dealer. I had just closed my store after 39 years. And he says, but we need you. And I said, okay, why not? So this is a new experience for me too, because it's my first con ever that I'm not behind a dealer's table. And you know what? It's a wonderful experience. Thank you. And I want to thank Kevin and all of his staff for everything they've done and the great convention that this is going to be.
So, we didn't try to make it too dreadfully obvious, but we have both thematic balances between the two guests of honor, but also geographic ones. Kevin Andy Murphy is from the Reno area at the moment, and Myrna is from Las Vegas, so we have, like many things in Nevada, you must balance things north and south. We don't have a lot of song and dance left to do with you here, but we do have an official part of the convention. An official part of the convention we have to do. This is the gavel of Westercon. And ordinarily, as the chair of the convention, I would simply bang the gavel and we'd be done with that. But, as I hope many of you have already learned, especially by the exhibit back in the back here or just hearing it, I'm just the driver of this convention. The heart and soul and the reason we are here is Lisa Hayes, for reasons that you may have noticed, including our exhibit out in the parking lot of the little red pickup. Look at the sign in the window as you walk past. And Lisa and Kuma, her little bear, I would like to ask Lisa to come over here with me for us to jointly call Westercon 74 to order. Lisa, it's okay, we're married. Lisa is, as I hope you've noticed, is the head of our hospitality area. Hospitality at this convention is a much larger aspect of the convention than it is at most conventions, essentially everything between that wall and the air wall between here and the dealer's room is hospitality, and we hope you take full advantage of the things we are serving that you helped pay for, and that you have an excellent time here. There is one thing before we end the opening ceremony and proceed to, and it's not listed in the schedule, but we are going to do it, is we're going to have some question and answer time for the bid that we received for the 2024 Westercon. Normally, you would schedule that in the program, but since the bid was received relatively late, we haven't had an opportunity to, and therefore we're going to have a bidder session right after the ceremony ends. But my last words on our convention and opening ceremony here is that, first of all, I hope you enjoy all 4 acts of this convention, and that you will be here throughout it, and including the closing ceremony at 5 o'clock on Monday, where we will have the closing titles for the convention. And beyond that, after the closing ceremony, you might want to go and see the fireworks down at the Tonopah Stargazing Park at the south end of town. Actually, don't go to the park itself, that's where they shoot the fireworks. The parking lot near there. It'll be pretty obvious when you go there. And then you come, and after closing ceremonies, go have a little bit of fun if you like, and then come back here after that for our alien autopsy party, which is the wrap party to which every member of the cast is invited. Last words. We're in an Old West type town. This was the last of the big silver boom towns, and it had a fairly open nature to it. There are some really wild stories about one of the sheriffs here who was known for, well, he was best known for when he was shot to death in a bordello, where it's unclear whether he was actually availing himself of the services there, but we don't know. But in those days of the Wild West, it was the villains who wore the masks. My goodness, have times changed. And I would like to ask all of you, as a favor to every other member here, that for this convention, be a hero. Thank you, everybody, and I hope